Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do a shop my stash video because the first one that I did was very well received and I thought that it could be good to do this as like a monthly thing. I don't know. I forgot my sponges. Let me go grab those. And I thought I would do the look that I did in my spring makeup recommendation video because because a lot of people seem to like that, and I also really like that look, and I did not do it on camera. So let's just jump in because we don't need a long intro. I'm just starting to prime my face using my Vichy Mineral 89 Skin Fortifying Daily Booster because it's almost 5 o'clock p.m. now, so I actually haven't moisturized in a while. And then I'm going to also use my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I really haven't decided how I feel about this primer. I don't know if it makes a difference. I still have to test it out. I don't know if it makes a difference to use like a lot or a little. For foundation, I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Long Wear Soft Matte Foundation. I use the shade 100. I'm actually like running kind of low on this. And I'm going to mix that using my L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. This is actually a brand new tube. I think I've used this one once, but this is like the only foundation combination that I've been wanting to use. These two mixed together is so nice. It's just the best. And I think once I run out of this Fenty foundation, I'm gonna buy a new one because it's such a beautiful foundation, especially if you do like really good skin prep. Okay, so now for brows. I hope I'm at a good enough angle. I think this is a good distance away. I'm going to do soap brows because I honestly truly have felt like I haven't been living until this point. Like my eyes have been opened and I don't think I can go back. So I'm just loading my spoolie up with soap and I'm just running this through my brows. I feel like I've gotten the hang of this technique a little bit more. It took me a little while of trial and error before I felt like I had it down, but I feel like I'm in a good place now. And I think perhaps this is the actual way that you're supposed to do it. But then after I run this soap through my brows and I kind of like push them into place, and I find this actually like seals them in and helps them set a little bit better. Sometimes though I just like wet my spoolie too much and I just put like water with a slight bit of soap through my brows. And what I've also been doing, because sometimes I get a little overzealous with this soap application, is I just like take some water and spray it on like my little towel and just take that and run that over the edge of my brows, just where there might be like excess soap around my brows, just so I can clean it up. I guess you could use like a makeup wipe if you use makeup wipes, or anything I guess that's like damp that's gonna remove makeup, you know. And then I just fix them. And then I'll take a little brush and whatever foundation is left on the back of my hand from applying it, and I'll just run that along where I removed the foundation. I don't like wear a shit ton of foundation on my forehead anyway, and I find that this generally does the trick to conceal where I took the product away. And of course, this is not my brow day. Now I'm just priming my eyes using the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base while I let my eyebrows set. So now that my brows have set down, This is a new product to me. There's a long story behind this, but I've been using the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen. NYX, I was trying not to buy from, but a whole debacle happened with a brow product that I was going to use. Anyway, I'll probably talk about it in my low buy update, but I have been enjoying this, and I just have been filling in any gaps using this little pen. But I find that I only really like using this when I do soap brows. The other day I tried to do like normal brows with just brow gel, and I felt like I needed something with a little bit more structure. Okay, so I just lightly filled my brows in with that, and then I also have been using another new product. I run out of everything all at once, which is fucking typical, I feel like, but I've been using the e.l.f. Wow Brow in the shade Neutral Brown. I know, okay, I know that my brows are too dark. This brow gel is too dark for me. It was an accident, okay, and once I have all my makeup on, it won't look so horrible. So for my eyeshadow, I'm going to focus on 3 palettes. I'm just recreating the look that I did before. So I used the Juvia's Place The Deuce palette, Juvia's Place The Warrior 3, and then the Colored Rain X Power palette. So yeah, I'm just gonna dive right in because I'm trying to motor on this makeup here. Okay, and so I'm going to start with the shade Creme from the Juvia's Place The Deuce palette, and I'm going to run this through my crease as a transition shade. I haven't used this palette in a hot second before, like before I did this look for the first time, and I forgot how beautiful and beautifully spring appropriate it is. Okay, and so now that that's blended through my crease, I'm going to go into the Warrior 3 palette, and I'm going to take the shade Fanti, and I'm going to run this just through my outer corner of my crease. This shade definitely requires some building up. It's really bright, but it's a little bit sheer. It's more sheer than I am used to with Juvia's Place shadows. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the Colored Rain palette, and I'm going to take this shade right here called Snitch, and I'm going to use this to deepen up my outer corner and my crease. This palette is the palette that I reach for automatically when I am doing pink looks, pretty much always, or purple looks, or anytime I'm doing like any type of berry, like any look in this color story or color family, and I need to deepen my look up. But you guys, on another note, on a really random note that's really not related to makeup at all, I am feeling better than I have in a really long time. I feel just like so centered and like I'm capable of doing things now, because I've recently, it's been very recent, so maybe things will take a turn downhill. I sure hope not, but I've recently started taking medication for my anxiety, and I feel like my whole world has turned upside down. Like, I genuinely didn't realize how much I needed it until I went on it, and then I was like, oh, normal people don't feel all those things that I was feeling before. And it's like, it's been amazing. So now, because before it was like I went on it because I was having really bad anxiety attacks, which I also didn't realize how bad they were until I didn't have them anymore. And I had like 2 within 2 weeks, and they last for me like between 3 to 4 days where I just like don't sleep, and I guess it's bad. At the time I was like, oh, this is just me. But no. And the pandemic has made everything a lot worse. I didn't actually really start getting physical anxiety symptoms until the pandemic started. And eventually I was just like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, why am I suffering so needlessly? Like, what is the point? Because it was like, there's no mindfulness exercise or like meditation or breathing exercises that can like get me out of it, you know? It's just like my body is just physically just like, there's something wrong. And it's not, I'm sitting at my desk trying to do work. So it's been a time, but it's been good. For a long time I resisted doing it because I don't know why. I guess I just didn't, like, literally just didn't want to have to do it. And I'm so happy that I finally decided to do it. Like, I couldn't even go on Instagram at all because I was just like so overwhelmed by like my life, basically. So I am feeling super great, and that's a little life update for me. So if you're struggling, just know that you're really not alone. Even if it seems like you are, or it feels like you are not at all. And even though it may seem like the worst thing that you could imagine, sometimes talking to someone isn't actually as hard as you think it's gonna be, and you don't even know how much better things can be if you just talk to even one person. So that's me and my little soapbox today, because I was the person who was like anti getting help at all for myself, and once I finally did, I was like, oh. Okay, so now I'm going to hop off camera, cut my crease, because that's what I did last time in the look that I'm doing, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now my crease is cut, and I'm going to hop back into the Warrior 3 palette. I'm going to take this really pretty blue shade called Kongo. It almost has a purple shift to it, and I am going to put this all over my lid. I'm gonna give that a little spray. This is set. This is really, it's just so pretty. Even I was shocked at how beautiful this shade was because I hadn't used it up until last time. Okay, and then I'm going to just go back over with the pink shade Fanti and merge that onto my lid. I'm gonna deepen my outer corner just one more time. Okay, you guys, so I just did some powder on my face because my camera died. Of course, it wouldn't be my video if my camera didn't die at one point, and I don't think it's exciting to watch me put powder on my face, so I just did that off camera. Everything that I used will be in the description box as usual. Hopefully that's not too far away. I'm going to finish up my lower lash line now. So I'm going to take this same Fenty shade, the bright pink, and run that all along my lower lash line. And I do want to say as well, like kind of moving on from the mental health rant that I just had, that potentially for anyone who's watching this and is struggling a little, for me, I know I was like in denial for a long time, and I was really I was really scared to talk to an actual like doctor and go on medication. I don't know why. I literally was like, I was scared that I was gonna lose like my personality, or that I would have really, really harsh side effects, and that I was gonna like be really miserable. And obviously everything is going to like super depend on your own personal you know, situation, and even having access to a doctor is a privilege that not everyone has. But if you are able, I would, and you know that you haven't been doing well or anything like that, I want to stress that it's potentially not as bad as you think it's going to be. It was really anticlimactic for me. Like, I built it up in my mind to be this huge deal, and I honestly just called my doctor, told her what was happening, and she's like, okay, we're gonna start you on this medication. And I started taking it. Keep in mind, this is like new. Potentially I'll come back in here in a week and be like, I'm fucked up, but I feel really great. I just feel like normal in like the best way, in the way of like, I don't feel anxious all of the time over nothing. And I didn't even realize how anxious I was until I started taking this medication, and I literally was like, is this what everyone else feels like? So yeah, I mean, I feel like a ton of people obviously talk about mental health, and it is really important. So maybe I'm not really adding anything new to the conversation, but speaking from someone who was super resistant to going on medication, and I've just done it, and I just don't know why I forced myself to struggle for so long unnecessarily. Like, I was just, like, I could have been so much happier. Not that I wasn't happy, but it's like, why? It really does feel like you're just treating like a physical illness. Like, you're treating your brain that's malfunctioning. So I don't know. That's just kind of my little TED talk on that. I just also want to mention at the end of this too that I know access to a doctor is a privilege. Being able to have access to insurance that will cover medication is a privilege. Even being able to, like, everything is a privilege, and a lot of people, even within Canada, don't have those privileges. And I just want to say that I'm very aware of that as well. Okay, and now I'm going to take the lightest pink shade that I use as my transition shade and blend my lower lash line out with that. So I just took the shade Tart and I put that on my inner corner. Now I'm going to finish up my face. So I am taking my Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in medium and contour my face. And I'm going to take the bronzer that I've been trying to use up. This is the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Bronzer. And I'm just going to bronze. Okay, so now to spray my face, I actually just got the Maybelline Glass Spray. Because I'm not wearing this makeup for very long, I thought I would use this instead of the last little bit of the setting spray that I'm using right now. Although, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how much I like this, because I feel like it kind of breaks my makeup up a little bit, but I've only used it once before. I don't know. And it kind of makes me look a little bit greasy, although what the fuck do I expect from a dewy spray? I actually don't know. Okay, so now, this is honestly, I think, the best part of this entire look. I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Killawatt Foil Freestyle Highlighter Duo, and I'm going to use the pink side. This is the side Sangria Sunset. I'm gonna use this as blush. I'm going to do this a little bit differently from how I did it before. I'm going to put this down first, and I'm actually going to use a different highlighter because, well, I liked the look that I did before. Don't get me wrong, like, I really loved it. I felt like perhaps the combination of this blush and the highlighter that I was using was a little bit it was quite glowy. And it might have been, even I will admit, too much. So I'm going to adjust a little bit. And this is just like, ugh. This, every time I use this product, I just can't imagine a better product. I don't know. It's just like everything that I've ever wanted, perhaps. Okay, and then my camera ran out of space, so we're doing great. Every time I try to film a full face, something or multiple things always goes a little awry. So as I was saying, this is where I'm kind of circling back and changing things up a little bit. Now I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm. This is a product that I always want to get more use out of, but that I never really reach for unless I'm doing it like on purpose. And I normally apply my highlighter before my blush, but with this product, I like to apply this after I apply blush, because if you disturb it too much, I find that it just kind of goes everywhere, and it's sheer enough that I don't feel like I need to actively blend it into my skin with blush like I do other highlighters. But this is such a pretty product. Every time I use this, I'm like, oh fuck, I need to use this more, and I keep not using it more. Look at that. That's beautiful. I guess if you don't like sparkle, don't go near this, but all right. And so lastly, I'm just going to put some freckles on. I have been using the Kimchi Chic Beauty freckle thingy. I have this, I think there are multiple shades. I have the shade Afternoon in the Flower Field. And I've been loving it. Although I feel like I'm gonna run out of this quickly. So that sucks. And then I'm gonna put some freckles on, finish up the rest of my face, aka do my lashes and my lips, and then I'll be done. Then I'll be done. Okay, everyone, and this is the finished look. I just used a plum on my waterline, and then I used the Annabelle lip liner in the shade Buff. This is basically the same color as my lips. It's really, really light because I have no pigment in my lips at all. And then I used the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fussy. What?
Nothing! You can't look at me.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you are okay with me doing a look that I've already worn, although I didn't film it on camera, and a lot of people asked me, and when I say a lot, I mean like 2 people, asked me if I could do this on camera, so I thought I would. If you're interested in me doing these Shop My Stashes videos once a month, because I feel like I am interested in that, let me know. I love watching Shop My Stashes, and it's like very much what I've been into, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it and going through my collection and like rediscovering what I have and using the makeup that I have, which shouldn't be such a crazy concept, but here we are. Yeah, so I'm horrible at filming outros. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see from me, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye.